Welcome to Long Story Long. I'm your host, Lisa Curry. Today's guest is the hysterical Alyssa Limperis. You probably already know her from one of her many viral character videos, and she's also starring in a movie called Too Late that's out this June 25th. So take a look at that, or look out for that. Both, whatever, buy it, find it, watch it. She's incredible. I think you're really going to love this conversation. Here you go. Hey, Alyssa, how are you?
Lisa, I'm great. I'm drinking a Bluestone coffee that I went and got without a care in the world because I'm vaccinated. Yes. I feel like a new woman.
Yeah, I'm fully vaccinated now too. And I'm like, it feels amazing. I'm like, I want to just run through the streets. I'm like, I know that's not.
Me too.
You shouldn't be doing that.
I'm like too smiley at people. I'm doing too much. It just feels incredible.
Yeah, I feel like there should be some kind of hand signal too to let people, like if you're walking on the sidewalk, to let people know like I'm fully vaccinated.
I'm cool.
Not just like, you know, like something like a little syringe motion or something.
Hey, hi.
Yeah, that's me. And they're like, what's happening?
Totally, like trying to make people feel safe by sort of, yes, by a very,
yeah.
I agree, because the whole no mask thing, it's like, no, I'm not wearing a mask because I'm vaccinated, not because I don't believe in masks. It's like, I feel I want to clarify that.
There's so much weirdness. I've also stopped posting, like, God bless all of our social media posts where we'd be like, I'm smiling indoors, but it doesn't mean I don't believe this is real. And like, you know, like
totally
extra things on all of our posts for the last year where we're like, hey, but we like separated and we just like got together for this picture.
Totally. We posed for 1 second. I didn't even see her. I don't even know how they got this photo. We were barely together.
This was 5 years ago, actually. Totally. I'm over it. So you are from Boston or near Boston, yes?
I know. I'm actually from Seekonk, Massachusetts, which is about 45 minutes from Boston and about like 20 minutes from Providence, Rhode Island. So I kind of am on the border of those two things.
Nice.
Which is why my accent is like, it's like a mix.
Yeah. Well, you nailed the Boston people. Well, at least what I think of Boston people, I'm like, you could make it like completely different and be like, yep, that's what they're like. Cause
totally
really don't know.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of nuance. My Boston, Rhode Island, and New York and Jersey, they're all kind of the same. And so if you're from, a lot of people from Boston will be like, this, no one talks like this. And I'm like, well, you're talking like it right now.
And they're like holding a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, they're holding a Dunkin'. They're at a Patriots game like, this fucking kid, no one talks like that.
Yeah, exactly. When you were growing up, did you know like that you wanted to be a performer?
Kind of. I always loved it. And my dad was like we just loved comedy together. And so when I was really, I want to say like 7 or 8, I also don't know. When I think of young age, do you feel that way? I'm like 7, 8, 12. I have no real memory. It's just
I'm kind of like, was I even thinking?
Right. A time before I like had my own brain, whenever that, like that's all. Yeah. But, he and I did community theater and we did, sketch comedy together. Yeah.
What do you mean you did community theater together? What's that like?
Well, I can tell you what it's like. My dad was such a trip, and he found some community theater that was doing like a Christmas Carol. I want to say they did it every year. So he was like, let's go audition. So I auditioned for like the Ghost of Christmas Past, and he auditioned for, I think, the lead. I don't even know what that is, but he was like, I'm going to be the lead.
He's like, I'm going to be Tiny Tim.
Yeah. Weird. All kicking 4-year-olds like, nah, look, I'm going to do better than this kid. Are you kidding? Yeah. So he didn't get it. And he got relegated to like some storyteller or something he really thought was very boring and not using his strengths. So I remember one rehearsal and I was the Ghost of Christmas.
So he's also performing in it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's performing it. He didn't perform. He wasn't a performer. He was a sheet metal salesman. You know, for as long as I lived, he sold sheet metal and he worked at Motorola. So, I think that generation, I mean, a lot of like, my parents my dad worked in a cubicle for fucking like 30 years. So it's like, and he had such, he was the life of party. So I know he had like an untapped creative energy. So he loved it, but he fully would go off book. I mean, like fully in rehearsals would improvise like crazy to the point where it obviously derailed the whole production. And there's like a bunch of kids, and it's my dad, the one who's making like, who's wreaking havoc. And I just remember one rehearsal, the director calling us all afterwards and being like, hey gang, so I just want everyone to know, like, the writers spend a lot of time on these scripts, so we want to stick to the script. We want to it was so clearly about my dad. So yeah, and then we did sketch comedy together. I played like our act was, I was like a very Cranston, Rhode Island hairdresser who didn't know what I was doing and was scarily chopping his hair and talking to him. So I grew up just doing that kind of stuff with my dad on a very local, level.
I love I've never heard of this before.
I don't think I've ever talked about it that much. Yeah.
Is this something that you were like, Dad, please, let's do this? Or was your dad like, hey kid, I've always wanted to be in A Christmas Carol. Let's go audition. I'll say this, I ran as well. My whole family was runners. So I was very competitive at track as a kid, like middle school through high school into college. That, I don't know if I want, that was one of those where I'm like, I don't know where that started. Like if I was like always excited. Like I remember praying for rain, like I was like, please get the thing canceled. Like once the meet was over, my mind went to like, I had like 3 minutes of joy before I was like, I got to freaking do this next week. And I'm worried about that. So I liked it, and I'm so glad I did it and I learned a lot from it, but no, acting, so I was really excited. Still competitive in that arena, even though you were like actively hating it or dreading it.
Yeah, that's a little window into my life, Lisa. Yep. I drink my coffee black. It's all kind of a nightmare. Yeah, I don't. But that's Massachusetts too. That's a lot of where I come from. Is like I think that's real There's a lot of that energy of like, I didn't even know you could just do what you wanted to do it took me a while to learn that you didn't have to like fill your days to the max with things you don't even want. It's just kind of the culture where I'm from was very like, I didn't think about that. It was just like, I was just, doing. Yeah.
Was it like you had to be productive in like all these different arenas, or was it like more like career focused? Like you need to go to college and get a job? And
I think it was all of it. I think I just can't, I would say I didn't grow up with like a great toolkit of relaxation. I didn't grow which is like, I was raised like, I'm very grateful for the way I was raised. I have, it's not a lack of love. It just,
of course.
Yeah. So I think that's, I remember getting to college and doing track and running a meet. And then I remember one day just being like, I don't have to do this. And then I went all in. At that point, I
ran away.
I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I can keep going. So I went all into improv at that point. And I remember the feeling of like quitting track, doing improv and being like, oh my God, this is what it feels like to be with, like, I just felt like I was with people who spoke my like language. It just felt like this is where I feel cozy.
What was available to you as far as like improv training? So, were you going into the city or?
Oh God, no, I went to school in Vermont. So the city was like, the city was like the place where like there were 2 cows instead of like 10. But it was great because I got to just learn in the team was called Middle Brow, and it was just we did improv in Vermont, and we all kind of learned from each other. And Elle Woods, who actually is in LA now as well with me, and Ben Orbis. Yeah, it was just, there was a great like group of people who ended up moving to LA, and we all just kind of learned comedy together.
I love that. Did you, when you started doing improv, you immediately felt like that was your community? Were you like, did it click right away that that's something that you could do for a living, do comedy?
No, I think that took me a very long time, a lot of years to think that it was something that not only was, what'd you say?
I said, are you there yet?
Yeah. That's something I'm looking at, that's on my 10-year plan. Yeah. No, I think, I don't know if you felt this way, but I just felt I think there's two hurdles. One is like the logistical, like how does this even work? How would I even make a career out of comedy? Mm-hmm. Especially at the school I went to, that just did not feel like I had any, I didn't see that as an option. And then two, the confidence or the self-assurance of I'm good and I can, to say out loud, like I want to be a comedian means you're saying like, I think I'm good enough or funny enough to do that. And that took a while. So I think the combo of those two things took a long time. And I padded a lot of, like I was soft around both of those for longer than I should have been.
I definitely feel the same way where it's like, I think also when I'm from a really small town and my parents are not involved in the arts at all. Yep. And so it's like, everybody I know is blue collar. And so I'm like, I understand how building a bridge equals getting income.
Yes.
I don't understand how acting silly equals income. But so like my exposure was like the circus or watching Seinfeld. And I'm like, I don't like, you don't
totally. Oh my God. I watch Seinfeld too all the time.
My family was like obsessed with Seinfeld, but I thought, and I've said this a bunch, but I feel like growing up, I didn't know that was a job you could pursue. I just thought, Jerry Seinfeld's a comedian, but he was like anointed or something. Like you're not like one day I'm going to be the Pope. Like it felt the same to me.
Same to me. And it's like, it's of course, because if we didn't grow up with, I didn't grow up with any one of my parents or my parents or my friends' parents, like you just don't see it as a viable career. So you're like, I don't even know what this would look like. It's The internet's helped with that. I feel a lot, like obviously.
Oh, absolutely. And I think also, I'm just guessing, but I imagine it makes your characters that you do richer because you're not doing an impression of something that you've been watching over and over and over again,
Totally.
Like you're creating your own thing.
Yeah. And and I think that all the time. Like, I think there were probably years where I thought I'm like wasting my time. I should be like doing, I wish I were able to be doing this comedy full time. And instead I'm like doing these other things to make money or to survive or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I pull from those almost all the time. So it's like kind of nice. I feel like life has a way of like, you're never wasting time. You're living, and living is always going to be beneficial. Yeah. You're gaining experience, you're gaining knowledge, you're experiencing the world. That's gonna, it's not wasted time. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it took me a long time to realize that too, especially, and I think it goes back to like the blue collar roots of like, there's something like when you have a tangible thing you've done, you're like, oh, here's actual physical proof that I've done something with my time.
Totally.
So much of comedy feels like it's just like this thing that's in the air and you like have to trust that it's building towards something, and it feels so scary.
Totally. Oh, that's exactly it. Yeah. It's like my dad had metal and he had to sell it. And if he sold the metal, that was like it's like, that's a different thing than being like, I'm like, I think I'm on this path that I feel I'm on this path when I'm in it, but it's so not tangible. It's hard to show that to people. It's like, you could like, obviously like you're so talented, but it's like, there's no guarantee that like practicing a character in your room turns into something. Right. Just be like, it's like you either make money from it eventually, or like you get some kind of traction or whatever, or you're a fucking crazy person. Right. Talking to yourself in a room. I felt that. I was just getting coffee and I realized I was like, I was kind of talking to myself, just like talking through my day. And I'm like, I'm going to miss the masks for this, because with a mask, I you don't feel, and then I'm like, I got to watch, I look crazy. I'm talking to myself. Yeah.
I do that a lot. I got caught talking to myself, like at this volume, full volume. A couple months ago.
Almost more psycho. Yeah.
When I was in Brooklyn and I was like, I realized it because I was like passing this guy. I did have my mask on.
Okay, good.
And thank God I had headphones in, but they weren't, I was talking to myself. And then I was like, oh no, I don't want him to know I'm talking to myself. So then I faked a full fucking conversation. And like, like I'm really acting and like doing all these gestures. And I'm like, well, we can't go on Saturday, and I'm like, because I'm on the phone, like pointing to the headphones, like I'm on the phone. And I'm like, that's so much fucking crazier that I just...
Oh, totally. That's so relatable.
When you started improv and sketch, did you start doing impressions right away, or?
No, not at all. It was sort of it was just like a long journey. So I did improv, in college, and then I graduated, and I had this job. So yeah, I did improv and I was like, I think I want to keep doing this. I want to keep doing comedy, but I need a job. My dad was very much like, get a real job.
What'd you go to school for? Or would you study?
I studied psychology and Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah. And I got this job as like a financial consultant. So I was like consulting.
Hilarious job.
Hilarious job. Yeah. Famously the pipeline of comedians.
Yeah.
Where all the greats started. And so I was like basically doing this consulting job by day. And then at night I was taking improv classes. And I just kind of was like, this is nice, but I almost had loved improv so much in college that it felt kind of like I was like, I don't feel I'm like, I don't know. It just kind of felt like I've already done this. So then I tried stand up and I loved stand up.
Yeah.
And I did that for a while.
Where did you go up the first time? Or like what city are you in at this point?
I'm in New York, and there was an awesome scene. Yeah. There was just an awesome, I feel I grew up in like basements in New York. Yeah. It was just awesome. Mae Wilkerson's my best friend, and we met, doing shows at like in these basements. And this is where I met Luke, my boyfriend. And we were just, I was not good. I was figuring it out, but it was like a good space to be able to do that. Then I quit my job. I quit my job consulting after I did it. My dad was like, do it for a year. So I held on for like a year. Yeah. I got a waitressing job lined up and I gave my 2 weeks. And I remember waitressing on the Lower East Side, having my like meal after my like shift meal, riding a bike home and knowing I was going to an open mic. And I think I might've even cried being like, this is freedom. Like, this is like, that was when I felt like I'm okay. If I die today, I'm okay because I'm on the path. Like I'm really giving it an honest shot, like, cause I think I always felt
quitting the consulting job though.
Pardon?
Was it scary quitting the consulting job?
Yeah. And if I'm being honest, I've never been more depressed in my life. I had a really tough year. I just didn't have enough infrastructure built up around it was like not a good time because I was so, you're leaving college. I'm used to having all this structure.
Yeah.
I'm used to having a really intense job for a year where I'm flying and I'm doing these business deals and I'm like in a really intense position that's taking up.
It's gotta feel like a different lifetime now.
Oh, it's like, I can't even describe how long ago it feels. Yeah. So it was a tough year. But I was like, I just had to rebuild. I had it was just like, that happens in life. You just sometimes like a few things happen and it's like, too many things happened. It was just bad. It was just bad timing. Yeah. But then, I was every day getting closer to like feeling like myself. And then
I love that.
Did that for like a year.
Take into like doing stand up and like you're waiting tables, you're doing stand up. How long were you in that kind of game before it clicked, where you were like, okay, well, this is a career path that I'm on for sure?
So I was waitressing. So I get out of school, I do this consulting job for a year. Luckily they were great. And I still got to do some like part-time stuff for them. So that helped me a little bit. And with waitressing, I waitressed for, I want to say 2 years. I was not making money from comedy for any of that time. And then my dad got sick. And so I'm in the Lower East Side. I'm just kind of figuring things out. I'm not making any money. I get this, terrible call. My dad has a brain tumor. My dad's super healthy, my best friend. So I just was like, bye. I went home. That was it. And I stayed in Massachusetts for a year with my dad until he died. And that year, I started just like writing about what was happening with my dad. I started tweeting a lot. I started just writing jokes. I had like hell. I was living in hell. And I all of a sudden, like I had like one tweet a day to hang on to, or like one essay or something that was like a window out. And that everything kind of changed at that point. Once my dad died, everything was different. I was like, I'm not gonna waste any time. I want to act. I've always wanted to act. It's like comedy is great, but I've always wanted to act and I was always afraid to say it. So I just started being like, I want to act. Acting is what I want to do. I got to go do it. So that's when things changed. Then I got a job based on my essays. I got a part-time copywriting job at Condé Nast, 3 weeks. just copywriting. And I saw that they had this brand that needed videos. And so I just was like, I want to be in videos. I act, I write comedy. Can I pitch some stuff? And I just kept pitching and they kept me on. And then slowly but surely a team developed. And in that team, Emily Murnane hopped on, another one of my best friends. She wanted to write comedy and direct. I wanted to be in it. And Lauren Lumsden was our boss and she was like, yeah, go for it. So the two of us, we got really lucky. And that's where I learned just about everything I know. I learned how to edit, how to produce, how to write for the internet. And that obviously that's where I ended up. That world was where it felt best.
It is so powerful to stop giving a fuck and to just go after what you want. And especially like you said, you pitched to them, hey, we should do these videos. And it's, I think so many people make the mistake of like, well, we can't, like, I should just do whatever within these confines. And it's like, I don't know, fucking go after different stuff too.
Totally. And my dad's death, I mean, I owe him. That's why, like, I feel I miss him all the time, but I know for a fact he's like guided me to where I am, because I was so scared all the time. And I was so like,
so much, or
pardon?
Because you go off book so much?
Literally, yes, because I do too much. I go off book and I get yelled at by directors. Yeah. I mean, if that ain't like, that's 100%. Yeah. Because I sell sheet metal. If anyone's looking for sheet metal, give me a call. Yeah. So not giving a fuck is so hard because you also give a fuck. It's like, there's also like, you care so much about something and you want it so bad. So it's like, it's so counterintuitive. It's hard.
I guess it's not giving a fuck about the other people's judgment, but then you still have to, in a way, because we all work together and everybody serves their own purpose and is doing their own thing. So it's like, like you don't want to get caught up in somebody's judgment, but you also need them to like you enough to cast you or whatever the fucking thing.
Right. It's like a delicate balance, but I really do feel it's that the switch was probably even just like a confidence in yourself. It's just like a confidence in yourself, because it's like, I can't control if someone likes me or if someone wants to give me something, but I can control if I like myself. And so that was a big switch, because I probably didn't for a long time. And so the minute you're like, wait a minute, I like myself, I want to do this. Do you want to do it with me? And if they say no, that doesn't mean it's on me. It's like, that's probably the switch. Whereas before that, if someone said no, it's like, oh, I'm not, there must be something wrong with me. And it's like, no, it's not a good fit. Move on,
Yeah. Totally. I think that's such a good lesson too, because you can't, if you take things personally in this, I mean,
you're done.
Anyone is able to take nothing personally. Right. Obviously some things are going to sting a little bit, but it's like, if you worry about every single person's perception or what they're doing, it's like, and you don't know, like, there's so many things also where it's like, I don't know, maybe somebody just wasn't vibing with you because their husband just cheated on them with somebody that looks like you, and they're like, fuck you. And it's like, that's so far out of your control. Totally.
And I feel like, you're such a great stand-up, and don't you feel like stand-up really helps with that? Because you can have I think the moment it really became clear to me was when you're like, you have this set of jokes and you've done them and you've killed, and then you do that same set and you bomb. And that is such a helpful lesson of like, oh, it's not the jokes, it's not me, it's just a different day. And And
it's also, I think if we think of it in the inverse, there is some really stupid shit that I will laugh at so hard if you catch me at the right moment. And then other days I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen kids do.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It just kind of depends on the day, and it's not a marker of how valuable we are.
That's the real switch, I think. And I think, just watching my dad die, it was just like, that went away, where it's like, this, okay, like I can't care about that. Like, I'm alive. I felt so lucky to be alive and get this second chance. Kind of like, I feel like we're all probably feeling something similar now too, which is like, we've had this terrible year where we've been scared and people have died and people have lost jobs. And it's just been so scary. So to go get my coffee and it's just like, the simple pleasures, we're really able to, enjoy them a bit more now.
I think that's totally true. I'm very curious to see how it shapes a lot of people, because I know for myself, I'm like, I've always wanted to do voiceover and I'm scared of it. Because I'm like, there's so many talented people, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm putting together a reel.
That's it.
I don't have more time to
no
around, you know?
Totally. And like, yeah, I just think we get this idea in our heads of like, we get 100 years and like, we'll do it. And it's like, no, we don't know. The world could change. Voiceover could go away. Acting could go away. Like everything.
Network television is going away.
Exactly. It's like yeah. Yeah. So
no, please hang around network television. I need you.
Yes.
Wait, so you're doing stand-up, you're liking stand-up. And this whole time you wanted to act, but did you ever want to like do stand-up fully as a career, or was that just like one piece of the puzzle for you?
In my mind, like everything was always a vessel for, everything always felt close. It just felt like everything was close. Like it was like improv felt a lot closer than track and field. And then it was like stand-up felt closer than improv. And then character acting felt closer than stand-up. And then acting in this movie felt like closer than character acting. So I think it's always been a journey to acting, but it's not to say I don't love those other things. It's just a matter of like acting. When I'm acting, I feel 100% like this is 100% in every bone in what I want to be doing. And then like the other things feel like, I don't know, 60, 70, 80, 90, which is still much better than how I felt consulting or running. You know, those felt maybe 20. So,
of course.
Yeah. So I think I'm still happy doing any of those things, but I know that I feel like most fulfilled when I'm acting.
How did stand-up start turning into more acting opportunities?
So basically right before my dad got sick, I was in this play and it was really fun and I loved it. And so that kind of gave me a hint of like, okay, I like this. And then I did stand up right after my dad died. And I did like a solo show about my dad dying, and that I really liked. So I started being like, I don't really want to do stand up about anything but this. I like it within a show setting. This feels like more theatrical to me.
Where did you put that show up?
I put that show up all in a lot of places for a lot of years. Providence Fringe, I put it up at like UCB, the Pits, the Tank. I did it, and on the road. I'm like forgetting, but I did it a lot of places, and that was awesome. And then I think the Condé Nast stuff helped me a lot because I started doing character videos, and then I started doing my mom videos on my own, and then character videos on my own. And then once I was in that kind of sphere, that's when I started getting acting opportunities, because it was like I was kind of, putting acting.
You're showing more of those skills.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Does your mom approve of the mom videos?
Totally. Yeah. She loves them and she films them actually.
I love it. I mean, not that they're not offensive at all. I can't imagine.
But she's a good sport. Like, she's a good sport.
Yeah. They're so funny. It's also funny how much they're like every mom. Like it's totally, it's like, it feels so universal, even though it's unique to your experience.
That's what's been nice about it, is it feels very like everyone. It's nice to be reminded we're all kind of similar. We all, moms are universal, more or less. Yeah. And they were really joyful. My mom and I lived to get, like, my dad died and my mom moved in with me to New York, and I was living with her a lot, and it was messy and it was like hard. And those videos were like a product of so much time spent with my mom in grief. And there were so many things I was picking up on because I was just spending every waking minute with her. So getting to do those together was very like doubly joyful, because we were like, this is like, it was an activity. When we got together, it was like, hey, for like 4-6 hours today, we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to focus on like, what would you do if you were shopping, and let's worry about that. And that helped us almost get out a little bit.
Was it a structured kind of thing then?
Yes. So yes. I'm a big structure person. I'm lists and we shoot for a long time too. Those videos, I mean, those are like usually long days of really fun, but I shoot a lot of footage for those. And then it was really fun. For a while, it was reflecting anything that was happening in our lives. So if I was moving and she was helping, we would do that. If I had a new apartment, if she was hosting a holiday, like we would just kind of match it with how our lives were evolving.
I love that. I love that she participates in it. And it's also like, not to kiss your ass, but you do it so well that I'm like, even though I'm in this business, I'm like, well, obviously that just took her 20 minutes because it's like only because you do it so well that I'm like, that you make it look incredibly easy. And I'm like,
oh, thanks.
There's no, which makes it feel farther out of reach, like doing anything like that. I'm like, the fact that anybody would watch your video and think like, I should do that. I'm not saying this like in a discouraging manner, but like, I'm like, how fucking confident are they?
No. I think it's just, I love it. I love it. That's, I also, another sort of complication of grief was I just became very like, I was a little fragile too. So it became like, I'm not really open to I'm not that open to going into a room and making people laugh on their terms. I'm like, I don't have it in me to handle if something's not working. I didn't have it in me. I was too fragile. And character acting was so joyful. I could put on a wig and just like disappear into something. And that helped me a lot too. It was like maybe someone on the internet will say something mean, and they will. But I don't really care, because if I think it's funny, I don't have to read it. Whereas you have to listen to the audience when you're, you can't help but hear the lack of laughs or something. Yeah. So I kind of have done that through life. Like just been like, what am I feel like? I try not to fight because I fought my body for so long. I try now to like, be like, all right, if I don't feel like being on stage right now, don't fight it. Okay, what else I'm not going to stop doing comedy. What's a different way that I can
just like organically do what you want to do? I think that's such a great way to approach things, because I think so many people are like, well, I should do X, Y, and Z.
Oh, that is no, yeah.
I mean, like you should brush your teeth. Okay. Like,
no, Lisa, I don't want to, and I don't do it. So forget it. I don't shower. I don't brush honestly, it's like a little too close to home with my current hair situation.
That's hilarious. When you look back on kind of like the trajectory of things, is there something that happened that felt like insignificant at the time or bad, where it changed things for the better? I mean, obviously, your dad passing pushed you in a different direction, but I don't know if like maybe you had an opportunity for something that felt like it was nothing at the time, and it kind of blew things up for you.
I feel probably so many, but I definitely do think at the very least, when my dad was sick and when I was living in Massachusetts, I did feel like, I know I have to be here. I know I want to be here, but every day I'm here, I'm getting further from my dream. Every day I'm here, I am losing time and I am falling behind. That was like there was no doubt of like, this is where I should be, want to be, I'm going to be. I got to be there with my dad during this, terrible time. I got to experience like life. I got to, everything. And then like, okay, so I wrote about it. Okay. So those things brought me to Condé Nast, which brought me to, okay, so I spent a lot of time with my mom grieving. That brought me to the mom videos. Like I experienced losing my dad. That brought me to my social. So it's like, I don't know. I think in the time, things that feel awful and terrible, like that's the thing I said of like, you're experiencing life, even if it's like really bad. It doesn't mean it's worth it. It doesn't mean I would rather, like, obviously I'd rather have my dad back, but that something can feel like and I think probably people feel that this year. Maybe you feel like you lost a year. Maybe you feel like how did I let the year? It's like, nope, something you learned will bring you something. Yeah. It just,
it can be very hard, because like, even though like we were just saying, we tend to put things off, we being just people in general.
Yes.
Tend to put things off because it's like, well, I'll do that later, or I'll start that one day when I'm not scared of it or whatever. But at the same time, I don't want to say lose a year, because I don't think you really lose it, because like we were just saying, you're still living, you're still having the.
But you lose it in the traditional sense of, or how you were used to it. Yes.
You lose, or it feels like you're losing traction in the direction that you were already going, but it's like, you're not. I think that's been a hard thing for a lot of people to get a hold of. I left Los Angeles in December because I was like, what am I fucking doing just sitting here? And it was scary, but I'm not to
Wait, you didn't hear?
Huh?
Oh, did you hear? Everyone in LA, oh shoot, you left in December? It's so funny because everyone in January got a TV deal. Oh no. Oh yeah, but no. Yeah, exactly. You didn't.
It does feel a little bit like that when some people are like, surprise, here's my new show. I'm like, bitch, I thought we were all not working during this time.
Yeah, wait a minute. Hold on.
Wait a second. You're not obeying the contract.
Yes.
But, I got to leave and I was staying with my cousin and her little kids. And I'm like, oh, this is so joyful and so fun. And I'm learning to be funny in different ways because I'm like entertaining a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old instead of like, single 30-somethings that are mad about their rent. It's like a different,
I had this guy, Aram Rapp. He's awesome. And I remember I was in New York. I was like visiting. And I was talking when my dad was sick, I was living at home and I like came into the city for a weekend and I saw him and I was like, oh, once I'm back to my life, like let's connect and like, let's make something or something. Mm-hmm. And he was like, no, this is your life. Like there's no back to your life. Like you're living life right now. Like this is your life. You're not pausing your life. This is now your life. And that's really stuck with me where it's like, life isn't like, once this is all over, like it's always happening. It's just, it's changing. And that's okay.
Yeah. It's like life isn't, you're not clocking in and out of life.
Right. Right.
Life is only when I'm at work or whatever.
And back to that blue collar thing we were talking about. Maybe that's, Yeah.
Yeah. It
maybe it's in us of like
selling sheet metal probably.
Right. If I didn't it's like very like, well, if I didn't do this XYZ thing, then I failed today. And it's like, no.
Yeah. What have you been working on in the last year that you're really excited about? If I can ask. I don't mean that to sound prodding.
No. Mostly I'm really excited about, I have this movie coming out Too Late that is coming out June 25th and it's coming out for pre-sale, I think on May 23rd. So I'm really excited about that. That was a project that I spent a lot of time on and that was like so joyful and amazing. It's a great horror and that's coming out. And that's kind of what I'm like working on is things in more things like that. Maybe I've spent a lot of time with shorter form projects, which I love. And so now my focus is shifting to less instant videos and more longer form projects. Yeah. So
I love
it's been nice to have time to focus on those.
Well, I'm sure that also feels really satisfying. Again, back to the blue collar thing, which I just will not let go.
Yes.
It's like you have this movie. So it's not that your videos are obviously lasting, but you just have something that feels a little bit more tangible. Like this. Yeah.
And there's something about collaborating too. I love doing stuff on my own. I'm grateful to be able to do it, but to be able to like tell, someone else's story, Tom Becker wrote this, D.W. Thomas directed it. I came and I got to like be someone for them. That's really cool too. Because a lot of what I do on my own is obviously like every step of it, where it's nice to be like, oh, this is your vision. Like I will, step in and be this character. That's kind of nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you booking more stand-up dates or are you more focused fully on acting now?
Yes, I am more focused fully on acting now, but I still have some stand-up dates that I have one, because right when this ended, I was on tour. So I have some dates that got pushed that I still have. So we'll see. I'm sort of seeing what things are going to look like and how things will open up and how safe things feel and all that jazz.
Yeah. I love that. I love that so much.
But mainly I am spending a lot of money on coffee. I am giving back to the economy again.
When you start building a new character, like obviously your mom, you were living with her, so you're really immersed in her. Does it feel scarier to do impressions of other people that you don't know?
100%.
I want to say like you don't know as well. Yeah.
100%. I don't even like it for that reason. I like comedy bringing. I don't. Yeah, I think I love my mom, so I'm able to poke fun in certain ways. So I like doing impressions of people who I really love too, so that feels the same way, So it's like, no, I love this but I worry. I don't want anyone I know the internet is a rough place, and so I don't ever want anyone's day to be made worse by me poking some. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that really comes through, and I think that like you can see how much you genuinely love your mom when you do the mom videos. And I think that is a big part of what makes your videos great, is that they are coming from a place of like, no, I like this person. I'm not saying like, fuck them or they're an idiot or whatever, because when things are delivered in that way, I think it's not as fun to watch, because it feels like you're just watching bullying. I mean, you are watching bullying.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, it's just not as, it's kind of goes back to that thing of like why I stopped doing sort of traditional stand-up, because it's just like, I want to do something that is purely joyful or that feels really, whereas I don't want it to be something that could, hurt someone. It's not really the,
no, I like that. I agree with that. And I like that about you. Are you writing any of your own, like, as far as like movies or anything like that? Are you working on any of that stuff on your own, or do you feel more fulfilled to like see somebody else's dream out like you did with the film?
Oh, I think sort of back to that like number thing. It's like acting is always going to feel like 100. So whichever way I get there, whether it's someone else's story or a story of my own, I'm happy. So I think but no, I'm always writing pretty much. Compulsively always writing. I feel so I'm always, working on my own stuff as well. But I don't think I have a preference necessarily, whether it's I think they both have different things that are great. If I'm writing something and making something that's my own story, or that's a story that I've invented, then it's exciting because I feel, okay, there's a purpose here. There's something I want to tell. There's some reason why I'm drawn to this story. So I'm excited to tell it. Yeah. But then there's the joy of if someone else is bringing something to life, then I can really, you have like one hat, you're like, I'm not thinking, whereas if I'm in this zone, there can be a little bit more of like, okay, should I punch this up more? Is there something I could have done? Whereas if I'm just acting in someone else's thing, then it's like, oh, I'm just doing the one thing. So I think I like them both. They both have their own parts that are fun. Nice. That's exciting. I can't wait to see this movie. You said it's going to be out on Amazon, and it's out in select theaters and on VOD. So you can get it on iTunes on June 25th. I believe you can start pre-buying May 23rd. But if you follow me at Alyssa Limp or follow at Too Late, you'll get all the updates. And there's a lot of great LA comedians in it. So you'll probably see people that you know. That's awesome. I love it. And what was the process like? You shot that before? Way before. Yeah. That's the thing. Everything takes a long time. So sometimes a commercial will come out or something. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I shot that like a year ago or something. It's like you're an infant in it. You're like, yeah. A child. Oh, it came out. They're still editing your production of Christmas Story or Christmas. Whatever. Oh, by the way, I totally mixed up A Christmas Story and A Christmas Carol. Is that the other one? I don't know. Exactly. They're all, they all have a similar message. Yes. I think. I feel like I wasn't allowed to watch A Christmas Story because there were like guns in it, I think. And my parents were like, no. Yeah, that's right. It's very sheltered. That is right. That's the process of that was just like basically everything that isn't my own. You just audition. It's just kind of like I get an audition. That movie, I went out for a different role, and then I got brought back in for this different role, and then I did like a chemistry test with different other romantic leads, and then we rehearsed for a while, and then we shot crazy fast. It was like 15 days, and I was on set every day, like really long hours. Really quick. Yeah, it was really quick. And we like switched halfway through, so sometimes we were doing in the middle of the night. Sometimes we were doing it at 5 a.m. And I'm not a morning person. and I just remember like basically waking up without an alarm, like just being so happy that I was, basically that was. You're just so pumped to go and get on set. Yeah. I can't even describe it. I just think it was a long process for me, another part of the story is like when I was 18, I really wanted to move to LA to be an actor. My parents were like, you should go to college first. So basically, since I was 18, I had this like hunch that I wanted to act, and you're following a hunch for a long time, and for a decade to follow a hunch and then to be on set and be like, right. I was like,
I
was right
so
about
much.
the hunch. And for it to take a decade, and it didn't matter. It took a decade. Okay, I'm here, and I was right about the hunch, and I'm so happy. And so I think I just felt really grateful the whole time.
Yeah. And you've built so much in the meantime.
Yeah.
Where like you have this really dynamic career and background, and people, I'm sure somebody casting you knows like, oh, well, we know that you can carry this role because of all the work that you've already put in without being asked to, you know?
Yeah. And I think like the internet is great for that. And I mean, everyone's like, TikTok is so amazing. There's so much talent on TikTok. It's incredible. Yeah. And so like, I think it's cool that people are like, no, I'm not going to wait for something to come. In the meantime, I will I'll do my thing, and I'll show the world what my thing is. And so I think it's cool that we're growing up in a time where we have the internet and we're able to do that.
I love that.
Yeah.
One last question.
Please.
What do you...
It's going back to talking to myself after this. So, I mean...
same here. I'm going to log off of this and just keep talking.
The mail guy comes through. I can't come to the party tomorrow. I know.
Just pretending. Well, and I'll just stay on the Zoom. So it feels like I'm talking to someone.
Great.
You know, if your kid self, like 11-year-old Alyssa could meet you, what do you think she would think?
Oh, that's like,
it's too much. Like a sad thing.
I don't know why, but I feel like, I feel really like,
excited, like grateful.
I think she'd be good. I think, I didn't, it's just like there were some like tough years, so I just feel like I feel happy, and I feel like scared for her for certain times. And I just like,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's the pandemic. It's coming out of this. But I think about my little kid self a lot, and she's going to be okay, but like, she probably doesn't know it for a while. So like to be on the other side of it is like nice.
I mean, she's probably hoping that consultant job will take off, take her places.
I'm going to look her in the eyes and I'm going to say, one day you're going to be a financial consultant traveling Monday through Thursday to the Hyatts in North Jersey.
You will have so many frequent flyer miles. You will have points. You could. You don't know.
You're going to have a suitcase with 4 wheels on it, bitch. 4 wheels. Do you understand?
Also, airports are going to be super weird. Like, just be prepared for that. You're going to have to take your
damn shoes off, and you're not going to be wearing Velcro. And that's, figure it out. Yeah, no, I feel like, it's cool. I feel happy with where I'm at. I think about that a lot. The other day I was just noticing the breeze, and I was like, man, I feel happy to just be able to notice the breeze. I've spent a lot of life like fighting, and so you fight yourself for a while, and it's nice to be in a stage where I'm not like fighting myself. That's like a gift. Yeah.
Of course. Just to be, having fun and at peace with where things are. I think it's so valuable. It takes a long time to fucking get there.
That's it. And I think I thought the goal was something loftier, and it's like, nope, the goal is like that. The goal is 100% just being able to be okay with where you're at. That's the one that probably took the longest, but who cares? I'm glad I'm here. It's like, okay, if it took a while
regardless of what we're doing, we're all living.
Totally. Yeah. And if you're going through a tough time, reach out to people always. The answer is like friends and finding your people. That's always been the thing that, do
what brings you joy, I think.
Totally. And go with one airline, because that's early. One airline, because that's how you accumulate. That's how you get the frequent. That's how you get silver status. Yeah,
that's how you do it. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on. It was so great talking to you.
It was so great talking to you. I can't wait to have you back in LA.
Yes, and in your neighborhood.
And in my neighborhood.
Yes, I accidentally sent Alyssa initially the link to where I will be living instead of the Zoom link, which is
imagine. Yeah. Imagine if you sent it to me and I was like, this is a great place. And then I booked it. I'm going to go here.
You're like, this is in person? No, I'm so sorry. That would be so all right. Well, I will see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye. thanks so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Once again, that was Alyssa Limperis. You can find her on Twitter and Instagram at Alyssa Limp, and I'm Lisa Curry. You can find me on Twitter at Lisa_Curry and on Instagram at olympianlisacurry. If you're enjoying the podcast, which, listen, if you've made it this far, I hope you are. Please like, subscribe, rate, whatever. Leave a nice comment. If you have something bad to say, write it on a piece of paper and throw it into a fire. I'm not interested in bad comments at this time. I will let you know when we are open to them. Thank you so much, and we will catch you next week. Bye.